IOTA. So, IOTA have a good working relationship with governments. IOTA are globally compliant with the messaging standards every financial institution is required. Only 9 cryptos in the world are. IOTA has potential to rise. Its usage is very, very good. It is a very strong system. I want to take a look at really what's been going on with IOTA. We'll talk about its previous price action, but I still think this has potential to break previous high from 2021. That's going to be based on a couple of things. Now, before I get into it, if you're new here, this spreadsheet shows the first 26 coins that I have videos about on the channel. In the videos, I showed myself buying up all of these cryptos. These were coins I thought could do very well and make a lot of money. And you can see what they were all worth when I recorded my videos. These are the highs these cryptos hit around about 16 months on, and these are what your profits would have been if you'd put $100 into those coins. 100 into each in that time would have netted you a profit of over 123 grand. Now, the thing is, we're in a bull cycle. If you're not happy with the performance of your portfolio, or you don't have one, have a look at copymycrypto.com. That is the site I run where I share my entire portfolio with my members. So when I'm ready to buy or sell a crypto, I tell my members the crypto that I'm going to buy or sell and the price that I'm going to buy or sell at. So my members are in and out of coins at the same price as me, meaning they make the same profit. If you actually go onto the site right now, you'll be able to see some of the profits my members have made. You'll also be able to see some of our past successes. All of that is public record. If you watch some of the old videos on this channel, you'll be able to verify it all. But read through the site, watch all the videos. If you like what you see, if you want to hear the daily updates I give, if you want to find out the coins that I'm in, the ones I think are going to be the big winners of this bull cycle, all you have to do to find out about them is join up on the site, guys. Now, IOTA. So IOTA launched back in 2017. It did very well in its first bull cycle. You know, it went from lows of basically 18 cents or so, all the way up to over $5. In fact, its all-time high, I think $5.69. Yeah, $5.69. Now, IOTA is a DLT that features an open source product suite for individuals, businesses, institutions to use in Web3. They're built on a DAG, so directed acyclical graph called the Tangle. And DAG networks are very, very good. They're very, very quick. They get better the more usage they get. Actually, part of the reason that I was an early investor in Phantom was because it was a DAG network, because it was so fast, because it could handle high usage so well. And actually that long term is always an important factor. You know, the reality is that part of the reason all these layer 2s have come out for Ethereum is because Ethereum can't handle what is required of it. So I'm always quite bullish on technology that can handle enormous amounts. Now, it's still important that the technology is used. If it's just wonderful technology and no one uses it, who gives a toss, right? Now, they have a staging network called Shimmer, which offers solutions for secure permissionless infrastructure, the idea being that it drives the economy of the future. And in 2024, IOTA 2.0 was added, which basically rebuilds the architecture to deliver full decentralization. The IOTA Foundation is the charitable nonprofit headquartered in Berlin that basically steers the direction of the protocol of the whole project. Its co-founder and chairman is Dominic Scheiner. And the initiative involves developing infrastructure to represent real-world assets in digital tokens. The goal is to connect physical and digital worlds, making illiquid assets liquid and as tradable as possible to basically allow new economic opportunities. This is something that continuously sort of blows my mind, that we've not really got further on with the real world asset tokenization stuff yet, because you think about it from a capitalist mentality, right? Banks, hedge funds, institutions, whatever you want to, like whichever, pick your group, right? Stock market. They don't like leaving money on the table, and the ability to pull liquidity out of illiquid assets is huge. The amount more money that can then be pumped into different markets is enormous. It's staggering to me that this hasn't actually got further and pushed more along. I think it's a matter of time. Now, the only thing I suppose is that stagnates this, or that has prevented the big boys from getting into that sort of tokenization space is that there is such an uncertainty around regulation. Also, in terms of if things go wrong, how badly can they go wrong, right? Because if tons of liquidity is, say, pulled out of a house, but it's put into a market that is a tradable market, and there's a big loss on that, what happens to the underlying asset? And until there is true clarity on matters like that, I think that's probably what stagnates this process somewhat. So as I said, they're trying to move tokenization forward. They're also doing stuff like IOTA ID. They've got the alpha release of IOTA identity is now here. They are moving forward with a number of different focal points. Now, again, I'm not a huge fan of digital identity stuff, but it's an inevitability, so it's not something I get too worked up about. Yeah. In terms of institutions as well, they've got a really close relationship with the EU. And look, CBDCs are coming. Whether they're certainly not a good thing in my opinion. When they arrive, the governments that have underlying already working relationships with blockchain tech, whether it's Hedera, which has one in the has worked with the UK government, and to be fair, a bit of the EU. Whether it's IOTA that's worked with the EU, whether it's Stellar that's worked with a bit of the EU and Africa, whether it's XRP that works with the US, if a CBDC when CBDCs end up arriving, it's not going to be on top of brand new infrastructure that's been built. They will simply use technology that is already available. So IOTA has a shot of becoming one of IOTA has a shot of being the technology that underpins a CBDC for the euro, for sure. The question will simply be, do they land that deal? But if they do, obviously this would go through the roof. They work with massive names, whether it's the dodginess of the World Economic Forum or any of these others, right? But there's some big names here that they work with worldwide. As I said, there's only 9 cryptocurrencies in the world that are globally compliant with what all financial institutions need to be compliant with, which is the new messaging standards called ISO 20022. That is IOTA, XRP, Stellar, Hedera, Cardano, XDC, Verge, and I'm still missing 2. The 2 always just slip my mind. So only one. If a CBDC ends up happening, only one of those 9 can do it. IOTA have made very good strides. As I said, they're pushing for in multiple different directions. They've got IOTA identity, they've got IOTA tokenization. Again, the tokenization stuff, this is their docs on how they want to basically introduce the ability to create assets, whether it's fractionalized or not, how they want to draw liquidity out from illiquid assets. And again, it's an avenue that we are no doubt going to go down in the crypto space sooner or later. As we can see, this is their Explorer. You can see what's happening constantly. If we take a look at the statistics, we should have some decent information. No? None? Really? No data? That's piss poor. That's really rubbish. I don't like that. IOTA held range. Okay, so a number of addresses that have 10,000 to 100,000. Very few that have north of 1 million tokens. Total IOTA held. Richest addresses. Okay. Yeah. Now, in terms of this year, look, I mean, it's in a downtrend, right? We can't dispute that. You've got from November of like January of 2018, where it got as high as $5.69 in the 2021 bull cycle. I'm pretty sure it hit about $2.60, $2.70 before a pullback. So that is a downtrend, right? The reason I think it's possible to break this is a couple of reasons. Number one, look, it hasn't been listed on Coinbase. I do think I would be surprised if it doesn't end up on Coinbase sooner or later. I know the volume isn't world class, particularly given its current market cap, but Coinbase I do think are going to start listing a little more regularly once things are a bit more clear from Trump's administration. But already the SEC have been dropping case after case after case, so I don't think Coinbase are going to be at risk of a case now. So as a result, I think there'll probably be a little more freedom in terms of what they do. So I could see IOTA getting listed. It's just, do the listings mean anything if loads happen at once? But a Coinbase listing probably bumps this up to 80 cents, if not $1. If the EU are absolutely taking notice of blockchain tech, they are talking about it regularly. If there is strong speculation that IOTA are going to be the underlying technology for a Euro CBDC, this will absolutely blast. This could rise to $5 really easily. If even the speculation alone is probably enough to really start moving this. Combined with the Coinbase listing, I still think this can get back to around $5. I don't think it's easy, and I think, to be honest, one of those things have to happen, like the EU CBDC Coinbase listing. For it to break its 2021 high, one of those two things at the bare minimum have to happen, but in reality it's probably both. But right now, the technology that IOTA have been developing, its usage, all very, very good, although we couldn't fully establish usage because the data wasn't there. But again, I think those 9 cryptocurrencies, maybe not Verge, but those 9 cryptocurrencies that are compliant have the best chance of garnering a bit of speculation and momentum. You know, even an ETF speculation is enough that IOTA will probably pump. And I think, again, IOTA could easily be one of those coins in the future that has an ETF. So there's enough little niche areas where speculation or Coinbase listing can pump this. Again, I wouldn't suggest $5 is going to happen. I think a lot has to happen for it to get to that kind of level, but it's one of those that absolutely have the possibilities. I'm curious to hear how people, like, if you're a long-term holder of IOTA, obviously I imagine you're not over the moon with price action. What are you happy about with the project and how it's been pushed forward so far? Are there any partnerships in particular that you're really excited about based on your investment? Share your thoughts in the comments. And guys, we're in a bull cycle right now. If you're not happy with the performance of your portfolio or you don't own one, have a look at my website, copymycrypto.com. If you go onto my site right now, you'll be able to see some of the profits my members have made. This is public record. This is all on the old videos on this channel. You can also see some of our past successes. Again, go onto the old videos on this channel. You'll be able to verify it. On the site, I share with my members every single coin I own. When I am ready to buy or sell any coin, I tell my members the coin that I'm going to buy or sell, the price that I'm going to buy or sell at. So my members are in and out of cryptos at the same price as me, so they make the same profit. There is no work for them. Read through my site, watch my videos. If you like what you see after doing all of that and you want to learn more, you want to hear every daily update that I do, if you want to find out the cryptos I think are going to be the big winners of this bull cycle, like I predicted with Phantom back in 2020 when no one was talking about it, all you've got to do to find out is join up on the site. And if you do, guys, I'll see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.